Hello, hello, and welcome to Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. A happy Thursday afternoon to everybody. Another sunny day here in Newburyport and another cold one. I got a little bit of snow out here, but wasn't too bad. A little slick ride into work today maybe for a lot of you. But I think that was about it. Not too bad for winter standards here. Again, we do the show every Tuesday and Thursday. It is Afternoon Drive. Hello to everybody streaming as well on the television. We get David Kramer, our producer, was just in here pre-show working hard to get all the technical stuff ironed out here. He does a great job getting us on the stream, so very good. He's the guy that puts us on YouTube as well, for those of you who tend to watch this show on reruns or whatever during the week or whenever. It's kind of nice. You can go to YouTube and search the show and find it there. Trade deadline is over in the basketball world right now. Old friend Isaiah Thomas just got traded to the Lakers. That was interesting today. Isaiah going to the Lakers from Cleveland. So 3 o'clock, trade deadline ending. Celtics not doing really anything, but that is expected. We have a great show on tap for you here today. An old friend, a guy I talked to during the baseball season a couple years ago. I think Jayden Medeiros is here. He's an alum of Newburyport, and well, let's just put it this way. His athletic director had plenty of good things to say about him. I was talking to his AD, Kyle Hodgson, before coming on the show here today. And actually, Jayden did a good job on getting here today, too. We'll talk about that. You made great time. I know traveling from across the border, New Hampshire, so Jayden Medeiros is in the house. We'll have him on here in just a moment. Almost to the weekend, the first full weekend without football now that the Patriot season is over and the drama continues with those guys and Josh McDaniels not going to Indianapolis, all that stuff. Usually we start talking Red Sox as soon as the Super Bowl is over here, but it seems like the Red Sox are still stealing the front page lines. And the Olympics, of course. The Olympics opening ceremonies are actually, it's kind of strange. You can catch the opening ceremonies tomorrow night, but those are going to be on tape delay. They actually, South Korea time there tomorrow morning. So that'll be kind of unique. The Olympics in South Korea, a lot of Massachusetts athletes there. I was going through the list earlier today. You got more than a dozen athletes represented from Massachusetts, including Chris Bourque, the old Boston Bruin. He is the son of Ray Bourque. You probably remember that name. So Chris Bourque is on the men's hockey team since the NHL is not sending their players this year to the Olympics. So Chris Bourque on the hockey team, and Megan Duggan of Danvers. And actually both of those guys have Danvers connections. Fun little fact here. My Little League team, the White Sox, when I was 11, so 20 years ago. It's kind of crazy to think about. Both of those people were on my Little League team, the White Sox. How about that little fun fact? So kind of interesting. Chris Bourque and Megan Duggan. Chris lived in Danvers for a while. Megan is from Danvers. I think Chris is now from North Reading, where he started his family. But interesting. A lot of local connections there for the Olympics. And those should be exciting to watch. So especially on the hockey side, a lot of Massachusetts flavor. So Olympics should be fun. If you're into that sort of thing, enjoy them. And fun couple weeks of Olympic Games coming up. Last thing before we get to Jayden Medeiros, don't forget, follow us on Twitter. At Joppa Afternoons is the Twitter handle. That's at Joppa Afternoons. Nice little picture here. This is probably a good time to actually say this too, because Jayden has a lot of, I know he was very popular back in the high school days. Maybe a lot of former teammates or whatever can send us some questions if you got anything you want to ask Jayden. A college man now, but he can give you all sorts of advice on anything, really. So we'll talk to Jayden in just a minute. Shoot us some questions at Joppa Afternoons if you'd like, and we'll take some questions and ask them on the air here as long as they're radio friendly. So how about that? There we go. We're off and running. Jayden Medeiros in the house. We will talk. We'll talk all things Newburyport in a little bit. I don't know where this conversation will take us, but I liked it last time, so we will do that with Jayden in just a moment. Don't forget, at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. My name is Drew Moholland. Keep it here. We'll be right back. All right, hello, and welcome back to Joppa Radio Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland, and I hope you're having a good Thursday afternoon here. My first guest, as just mentioned, is Jayden Medeiros. He's a graduate of Newburyport High School. I think you may be, I'm trying to think, Jayden, you may be the first, kind of fresh graduate. We've had a couple alums, but you're kind of the first guy that's just out. So how are you? Good to see you again.
Good. Nice to see you too.
And I should probably turn your mic on. Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you again. I remember we talked for the old show I did. We talked on the baseball diamond. Literally went down to your practice. I enjoyed it very much, and still enjoying baseball. Or
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm getting pumped up for the Red Sox. I feel like they should have a good year, so I'm excited.
You would think so. I remember it now. I'm trying to think back to that conversation, but the one thing that I wanted to get out of you, because I heard some people told me to go talk to you about it, and I don't know why, but the Newburyport fan section Twitter handle, which has become kind of legendary, they're very active with us on Twitter. I've asked a few people, and I cannot get an answer. Was it you who created that, or do you know who?
I obviously can't reveal that type of information, but I might know a guy.
I can't reveal it.
It's good that that's carrying on. It's a lot of fun, and I know that it's good to get information out, especially for people on Twitter, and show support for the Clipper teams, and I think that's what it's all about.
So you can't reveal the information.
Yeah, I obviously can't reveal. That's
but you might know a guy.
I might know someone, but I obviously can't reveal who that is.
What is so secretive about this Twitter handle? It's a great Twitter follow.
It's kind of like I don't know. I think that whoever made it wanted to be kind of a secret club. You don't really want to know the identity. Kind of like the Batman. You just kind of come when you're needed and throw some stuff on Twitter and don't really reveal the identity.
Yeah. I need to be let in on this at some point. This is driving me crazy. But okay, fine. We'll keep it secret for now. Well, it's good to see you again, man. And off to college you have been.
Yep.
You came right here from campus.
Yeah, I'm about 35 minutes away at the University of New Hampshire. So
how's it going?
I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Meeting a lot of different kids.
Yep.
A lot different than high school.
It is. I'm sure it's a lot different. Although nice job wearing the maroon colors there. For those of you listening on the radio, Jayden has strolled in here with his nice Newburyport. Is that the baseball pullover?
That is the baseball pullover, of course, and I'm rocking my Clipper hockey hat. It's a gift from
Clipper hockey. Okay.
Gift from Coach Amin, my senior year. I know they're getting ready for the playoffs, so
there you go.
Good luck to them.
Good team this year.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to watch a couple games, and I really like how they play. I think they have a lot of depth, and I think they're gonna get that playoff win that's kind of avoided the Clippers the past couple of years.
It has been a little bit elusive for them. That's right. The hockey team loved you. That's why we ended up having you on the show, I think, because I was close with the hockey team.
Yep.
And they were like, "You got to interview this kid. He's kind of he's not only a great baseball player, but he's a really a great fan of Newburyport sports."
Yeah, I feel like when people think of me, they kind of think of the super fan. I would go to all the games, basketball.
That's why I thought
hockey.
you were the Port fan section guy.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense, but I don't know. But that was a lot of fun. I love supporting the teams and especially the coaches too. Coach Amin was awesome. Coach L'Italian was the basketball coach when I was there, and they love the support. So I think that it made it a lot more fun, and it was just awesome.
So let's talk about, we'll talk much more Newburyport here as we go, but let's talk about your life a little bit. You've gone to UNH. Cool school, nice campus. I always enjoyed visiting. Freshman year, any surprises about making the college jump? What's been the toughest adjustment?
I think first semester was definitely a lot more difficult, just kind of adapting and just trying to fit in with a bunch of new kids because no one knows who you are.
Just thrown in on a big campus.
Yeah, like our professor said, no one really cares about what you did in high school. It's completely different, completely new experience. So
well, we care.
But obviously back home cares. But it's cool. I have a couple Newburyport guys up there. So guys like Cam McCrae, Rob Shea, athletes. Matt Bean too. He played hockey.
They all went to UNH.
Yep. Rob Shea is actually my roommate. So
really? That makes it easy.
We're always talking Clipper sports. And we started a intramural basketball team with McCrae and Shea, so they're running the backcourt for us. And
it sounds like a radio show. McCrae and Shea.
Yeah, McCrae and Shea. They're fun to watch. They're really good and they're carrying over. We lost our first one though, but we'll get back to it.
Well, there you go. I always said, and I remember from experience actually, the first semester of college is the toughest after making the senior from high school jump.
Yeah.
At least I found toughest on grades.
Yeah, well, it's different because you show up and it's like you have 2.5 months till it's the next time you're supposed to come home, which is Thanksgiving. Luckily I'm close, so I can kind of come home whenever I want, but that's tough. You're looking at the schedule. You're like, I gotta be here for 2.5 months without coming home.
Right.
And second semester is different because I know for UNH we have 7 weeks and spring break, then 8 weeks and summer. So it's kind of broken up half and half. It's just a lot different and a lot easier to kind of look forward to and do your stuff.
Yeah, and I bet it does make it. I kind of had the same deal as you. close enough where you can come home if you need to. I don't know if a radio show calls you and you want to get on
exactly.
But it is it's a good distance though, and it's good. I always thought it was good to kind of stay there for that first month or two and just get adjusted. And even though it was easy to come home, but the grades thing is tough that first year. I found like getting used to all you're very much your own person when it comes to schedules, right? It's like there's no school bell starts at 8 and you're home at 3 or whatever. It's everybody's different, and you kind of it's your independent play to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta take care of yourself. There's no one to kind of yell at you to do your homework or do this or do that. So you gotta be independent, and I think that's really cool. And I like that a lot. You know, just kind of you make your own schedule. You gotta balance your time. You know, and I think that did a pretty good job of that, and I'm looking forward to keeping that going. UNH
has some good sports. They got some good hockey up there for this time of year. You that guy at the rink now, just like in high school.
I don't know if I'm that guy yet. You know, hopefully someday we'll get there. But I definitely went to the games. It was a lot of fun seeing. Providence came up to play, and it was Shane Eiserman versus Ben Mirages.
Yeah.
So 2 Newburyport guys going at it.
Oh, I forgot about Ben.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was really cool to watch, and obviously we're all keeping contact with Ben. Wishing him luck. But when he's playing UNH, go UNH.
Yeah, he's was Benny a year older than you? Is that right?
No, he was in my class.
He was your class. He was okay. I remember Ben Mirages was the first year that we started doing that I started calling Newburyport hockey. He was the star defenseman as a freshman. And then he went off to prep school. What prep school was it again?
He went to Avon.
Avon, that's right.
Old Farm, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, but
yeah.
He's a really good kid. He's worked so hard though. Like when he was a young kid, he's shooting pucks in his basement, and he's lifting weights, and he put in a lot of work. It's really cool to see how far he's gone, and he's gonna keep going hopefully, and I think he has the work ethic to do it. So that's a lot of fun to watch him.
Yeah, were you guys good friends or?
Yeah, we were friends. We were hanging out a while when we were younger and stuff, and obviously he's been away the past couple of years, but whenever he's in town, it's good to see him and just kind of hang out with him and be cool.
Yeah, no, he got drafted by the Islanders, right?
Yep, by the Islanders. And that was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of our friends were at my buddy's house watching the draft.
Oh, you did a draft party?
So to see, he was obviously not with us, but just to hear Ben Mirages be called, that's really cool. He deserves it. He's putting a lot of work, and he's just a really good kid.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, to have those see those names called and all that. Yeah. I think I was, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I was fairly close with Megan Duggan growing up. Just we played Little League together, same high school, all that stuff. She's the captain of the USA hockey team, and for me, it's still weird to see her she's on Dunkin' Donuts commercials now. This is I think this is probably her last Olympics. She's 30 and captaining this team. I think it's her 3rd or 4th go around. So. With the U.S. Olympic team. So, but it's still weird seeing her on TV, and I'm hoping they get a better result this year. They lost, if you remember, last time around, Team USA played Canada, which is pretty much, it's like you can kind of pencil that in too already. It's going to be U.S. and Canada. They're kind of the 2 best women's programs, and that game went to overtime, or did it go to overtime? I think it went to overtime, maybe in a shootout even maybe, but they lost in dramatic fashion. I think it even went to a shootout, and Team USA lost in dramatic fashion. So we'll be rooting for Megan Duggan and Team USA of Danvers at the Olympics, and also Chris Bork, who had some Danvers ties and is now living, I believe, in North Reading. It was funny. We won a championship in Little League too, so.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty impressive, right?
Days.
The White Sox there.
White Sox, all right.
We were a good team back then. I don't know why I didn't get to the Olympics. I guess I'm the oddball out on that team. But again, we're joined by Jayden Medeiros here, a UNH guy these days, but back here home in Newburyport. He's a Newburyport Clipper. When we get back, Jayden, we'll take our first break right here. When we get back, I want to talk a little bit about some comments that your athletic director had for me. About you. Needless to say, he's a very big fan of yours. So Kyle Hodgson, great athletic director who we had on the show here a couple weeks ago, finally got Kyle Hodgson on the show. He's a very busy man,
Yeah, he is. He does a lot. He is busy.
He is, but he had some great words, and I will. I'm pulling up the quote right now. I'll do it during the break, and I'll read them to you. And I just want to get your reaction to it. He actually thinks you're coming for his job. There's the tease. But more with Jayden Medeiros in just a minute. My name is Drew Moholland. It is Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio, catching up with an old Newburyport Clipper. Keep it here. We'll be right back. All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on JOPA Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Another great show here. Again, we do it every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 o'clock on JOPA Radio and streaming on the television. Hello to everybody there. Big thanks to David Kramer, our producer, getting us out on the television and out on the stream, posting all these things on YouTube. He does a great job. So a big thanks to producer David Kramer as well. We are joined here today by Jayden Medeiros, who I just hooked onto his Twitter account. Put a nice little picture on the JOPA Afternoons Twitter account of Jayden here. It's got a unique, very unique Twitter handle there. What's the background on that?
So when it's a funny story. So we had a summer baseball tournament up in Springfield, and we were doing nicknames, and I didn't have one at the time. And my buddy Joel Scaff, he was a baseball player. Yeah. He writes in the Portuguese sausage, and that was just kind of like, I'm Portuguese, and so they announced it. I'm up to bat, and they're like, now batting, number 15, Jayden, the Portuguese sausage, Medeiros, and everyone just kind of started cracking up. So
really,
yeah, I was I think I made that freshman year, and then I just put Port, obviously, because Newburyport, and then there's the Portuguese sausage kind of connected to it. So yeah, that's funny. Scaff, he's a funny kid, and so yeah, he's kind of the originator of that nickname.
Well, there you go. And we have our first question, by the way.
All right.
So this is good, folks. I have encouraged people to get interactive with the show here and shoot questions to the Twitter account to any of our guests. And the first question comes from a man you may know. I happen to know him very well. Good guy, Jason Donlin.
Jason Donlin.
Yep. He would like to know how awesome Matt Donlin's dad is.
Matt Donlin's dad. He seems like a good guy, and I know he's very active on Twitter, which I think I follow him. He's a funny guy, and
he's a must follow.
He's a must follow. So I think last year, I think Donlin, his kid, I call him Donlin. He had a nice beard going, and I heard there were rumors that he was going to shave it, so I messaged his dad on Twitter. I was like, you can't let I called him Donnie Hockey. You can't let Donnie Hockey shave the beard, and I think he got a kick out of that. But he's a cool guy, and he must be having a lot of fun watching Matt play this year. Obviously, they're having a really good year. So
yeah, I called my first game the other night, the Triton game.
Oh, that was a good one, huh?
It was a great game.
Yeah.
It always seems to never disappoint, but this one in particular was back and forth, a lot of goals, very exciting game. Not too many penalties, which I always like. Wave to Jason Donlin is Matt's dad, by the way, so it's a bit of a trick question, but anyways, Matt, he's been a great player for these guys for a long time, Matt, and a lot of these guys, a lot of guys from just last year. This is my first game of the year, so I hadn't seen much of them. I did know that they only had one loss, so I knew something was going. But it's amazing the jump that even some of the veterans, like the juniors that became seniors, just made a huge jump. Usually you see a little bit, but it's a lot of guys really stepping up. That's why they're so good.
Yeah. So last year, obviously, we only had a couple seniors, so obviously a lot of juniors.
I love the we.
Yeah. I mean, I say we. Whenever someone's asking me about how's the b-ball team, like we're doing good. It's just because I don't know. I feel like when you're a Clipper, you can kind of say that. It's just kind of how the school works, how the community works. Like
family forever.
Yeah. Clippers forever, and that's kind of how it works. But yeah. We only had a couple seniors last year, and obviously a lot of juniors got to play, a lot of sophomores, and now juniors are seniors. Guys get older. Guys make the leap, become really good players. Guys, Dylan Rogers, he's a stud. He's one of my good friends. He's made the leap. Babcock, Cole Spence, just a lot of guys. Kenny Hodge having a really good year in net.
I love that kid, by the way, Kenny Hodge.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Nice, well-spoken, quiet, even-keeled.
Yeah, he was my teammate in baseball, and he was a catcher for us. Him and Dylan kind of split 50-50 with that, but Kenny's a really good kid. They got a lot of leaders on that team, too.
Yep.
A lot of guys that are vocal, a lot of guys that they lead by example, a lot of different types of leaders, which I think is key, when you have high school sports. Guys that, are quiet, then you got guys that are yelling a lot, and so like guys like Justin Knight, he's a really good player. He's really quiet though, but when he's, if he's lighting someone up on the boards, it just kind of provides a spark. And I think they got a lot of that this year. I really like this team's chances heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, we had mentioned might be the year to finally get that monkey off the back as far as the tournament win.
Yep.
Going back a few years, I think it was a couple baseball seasons ago. I had you on the show, the old show back at the old station. Who's the pitcher I interviewed that day with you? I remember
Brian Haddon.
Brian Haddon,
he's
yes,
one of my good friends.
So that was an interesting contrast because Brian, really star pitcher, right?
Yep.
I think he went out to play some college ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he's at Dean College right now. He's getting ready. I talk to him pretty much every day. He's one of my best friends.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah, so he's he's really excited. He's gonna hit there too. He's gonna try and play the field and pitch. So he's been putting in a lot of work, and I'm definitely rooting for him.
I remember he was not as comfortable in front of the microphone as you were. He was a little bit more on the quiet side. You're much more, well, I guess you're much more the guy that's going to stand up in the locker room and start shouting at people. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that baseball team was awesome. I just think, like I said, we had a lot of different types of leaders. I mean, Bri is the type of guy. He's not going to be yelling and screaming, really, kind of like what I do. But he's going to lead by example. He's going to strike guys out a lot. He's going to kind of set the tone at the plate. He's a tough out. And I think, then guys like Jack Kaling, too, is the other captain. He just always does things the right way. And I think that kind of trickles down, and you can kind of reach all the kids in the team because guys react to, different leaders. And I think that's huge.
You had if I remember correctly, too, you had a cool little story. You I think I remember you straight up saying, like, you weren't the best player your early freshman, sophomore years. You were one of those guys that really had to put the work in. And next thing you know, you were hitting, like, cleanup, right?
Yeah, so, my sophomore year on JV, I didn't really get any time. And, I just kind of took that with me. It was nothing against anyone. It was just I just didn't get to play.
Yeah.
And so I put in a lot of work, made the team junior year. We had a lot of talent, and I didn't really play much. And then we didn't make the playoffs junior year. We all thought we probably should have. And so I just was thinking to myself, a couple of guys were like, we're not gonna let that happen again. So a lot of guys put in a lot of work in the off season. We were able to win the Spofford tournament, which is obviously huge because Coach Rose started that a couple of years ago. So
that was a nice moment.
Yeah, and then we were able to make the playoffs. And like I said at the beginning of the year, we didn't have a ton of talent my senior year, but I think we had a lot of guys who worked hard and did what they could for the team. It was all about the team, and we started 1-4, and it would have been easy for guys to, especially the younger guys, to shut it down and kind of say, we got next year. But we turned it around and finished 11-9. So
yeah, I always remember that's a good high school story. I liked that one because how many like freshmen do you see that just are devastated, not getting like they think they should be somewhere they're not quite there yet.
Yeah,
and then maybe
exactly.
they just don't put the work in. And but you're the example of the kid who didn't get a lot of playing time early on and then became a star in your later years.
Yeah, if I could give any advice, that's kind of it. Sometimes, if you're not playing a lot or something like that, instead of kind of crying about it and saying why not, make it happen. Put in the work, and it can go a long way. So that's kind of my advice to anyone.
It's very good advice. No sulking, just get better.
Yeah, just get better. Compete, do what you can for the team. I think if guys can give up their ego, to just help the team in any way they can, I think that goes a long way, and that's huge.
It seemed like everybody we talked to, you kind of played that role. You were a good team player in every regard, which may be why this is what I teased here before the commercial break. So this is your athletic director, Kyle Hodgson, right? So he says this to me today. Probably the most Clipper pride you'll ever see, which I think we can understand. You're very you bleed that maroon. Oh, yeah, he also played golf, too. He wanted to remind me of that. We can talk a little bit of golf in a little bit because I played golf, too. But he called you an unbelievably positive leader and had a lot of tremendous respect from students and staff. And here's the last part, which I really liked. Your dream job is?
My dream job would probably be what he's doing right now.
There it is. That's what he told me.
He's awesome, though. He's done a lot for me. I was able to intern with him my second semester of senior year.
That's
That's kind of where I was like, I want to do this. I go to all the games anyways, and if I can get paid to do that, that's a double combo. So
that's great.
And I actually had the chance to interview him. I had for a class actually. It was called Sports Industry at UNH.
Oh wow!
You got to interview someone who's kind of in the field you wanted to get into. So I emailed him. He got right back to me. I was able to interview him, and he's just awesome. He's done a lot. He's always willing to help me if anything I need, and yeah, hopefully he's done a lot, but we'll see.
Yeah, but we'll be. You could maybe. Well, I don't know. Kyle is a young man. You might have to wait a little while.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna leave. He loves what he does.
Yeah.
I love how he always gets these new shirts and stuff, and he's always every time I see him, he's look at this. I got my new sweatshirt, got my new this and that. So he's having a lot of fun with it. He's done so much for Newburyport too, and
yeah,
he's just awesome. He changed the culture when he got here, and he's done a lot of stuff, the tunnel, walking in, all that stuff, and I hope he continues it because it's really awesome what he's done.
And it makes it more fun being a part of the Newburyport community like this that does just lives and dies with the community sports. It's just such a great sports town, and not all of them. I mean, there's a lot of them around here, especially North Shore. I think there's some really good sports communities, but Newburyport is way at the top of that list. Just a real good support.
Yeah, there's a lot of support from everybody, and it's really every sport too. I feel like the communities, has everyone, they're rooting for every team, and whether a team's, having a struggling year or they're really doing good, they always have the support of the, Clipper Nation. I think that's really cool. That's kind of what makes Newburyport special. Everyone's pulling for one another. There's no I hope my team does better than your team. There's none of that. It's just the Clippers. It's we, it's us, and I think that's really cool.
What do you miss the most? I always wonder. I always like to ask the college people that. You go away to college. College is a blast. Everybody, especially UNH. And I know it can be a fun place to be. Probably happens at the right time. I always feel like 4 years of high school is like the perfect amount. Whoever decided that was it back in the day came up, did the structuring right. 4 years, you move on, new chapter in your life. But what do you miss most about the high school days?
There's a couple things. I think first and foremost, the grind of sports. I think it's a lot of fun. And, I know for baseball, the whole winter and in the fall too, guys, were lifting weights. They were doing some BP whether they can. They were throwing, and it's just kind of the grind of that. Being a part of a team. Having teammates that you've played with forever. Since we were younger. I think that's tough to let go. And excuse me. I know the student section. I miss that a lot. I took that really seriously. I had a lot of fun. It was it's really cool seeing guys who've put in a lot of work and they're succeeding on the field or the court or the ice. And I think you miss that, and I think you miss, seeing people every day that and you're friends with, because you go to college and you don't know everyone. But, just the people, the teachers in Newburyport, the coaches, everyone's pulling for one another, and I think that's kind of what I miss the most is just kind of, being a Clipper.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're doing fine on the meeting people front, if I had to guess.
Yeah, got a good group of friends up at UNH, so it's a lot of fun. But
that is good, and I'm actually hanging with my college friends this weekend.
That should be fun.
Doing in Providence. We're doing a boys' weekend. Going to the Friars game.
Okay.
PC Friars.
I got Kayleen. Jack Kayleen goes to Providence.
Oh, yeah?
And Benny Mirages. So.
That's right. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, Benny has previously talked about. Maybe they'll probably be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to hang out with us.
Maybe give them a call.
I'm not sure we're cool anymore. We're kind of like right on. Yeah. I don't know. I think I have a cousin in college, and he came back he was actually back over the last weekend for the Patriots game, which we won't talk about. Although I did like your tweet on the Patriots about not being devastated. I think it's just because we got beat by a better team, and as you said, going to be there again. It's very tough to take, but it was the Eagles' day.
Yeah, we just we got beat, and I think being a Patriots fan, I know for me, I'm kind of spoiled because I've never known the Patriots not being good, not being in the playoffs, and
yeah, you're really spoiled.
Yeah, I'm
pretty spoiled. You're really spoiled.
And so I just kind of look at it as we're returning most of the same team. I know Butler's probably going to leave, but we get Edelman back healthy, Hightower. We're probably going to be right back in the mix next year, and I don't know.
Did you have to watch? You remember Aaron Boone, right? Or were you kind of young for that?
Not really. I was a little young for that.
That's crazy.
I've seen
now I feel old
and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know.
I wish I didn't bring that up. Now I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that's tough. But
see, that was my the cousin I was just talking about.
Yeah.
He never really knew Aaron Boone either. So I always said that was kind of how I paid my dues. I remember my uncle saying, "Well, welcome to Red Sox Nation.
Yeah,
you're officially
in."
And then they won the next year, which was nice. But yeah, no, he was back, and we were talking. I was talking about some of the things that I was a little bit out of the loop, and he said, "Well, it's been a while." And I said, "Well, it hasn't been that long." but yeah, we'll have a fun weekend this weekend in Providence. What was the campus at UNH like for Pat's game? Those are usually pretty fun nights.
Yeah,
before
it was a lot
the result.
of fun before watching the game. We had a ton of kids in my buddy's room, and everyone kind of knew I was on edge. I was kind of nervous, so but it was a lot of fun. Obviously the game didn't go the way we'd have liked. People were upset afterwards, but we'll be back. Don't need to worry, Patriot Nation. We'll be back.
There you go. Good advice. We have Brian Haddon checking in, by the way, on Twitter.
Brian Haddon, all right.
You wouldn't, like we said, I thought he was the more quiet one on the baseball team. This is like typical Brian Haddon. He didn't actually send a question. He just liked and retweeted the picture of you. So there you go.
Retweeted the quiet leader, Brian.
A quiet leader. Well
Quiet
said.
leader.
Brian, if you have anything you'd like to ask, feel free to shoot us a tweet. Although you guys talk every day, it seems, so maybe you know all you need to know here about Jayden Medeiros, who is our guest on Joppa Radio's Afternoon Drive this afternoon. My name is Drew Moholland. We'll take our next little music break right here. We'll have much more when we come back with Jayden Medeiros. We have a lot to talk about, as you can tell. This is one of those easy conversations for a radio host. You get a good, funny, well-spoken college kid on who used to be a Newburyport Clipper. It makes my life very easy. So keep it here. Hello to everybody streaming on the television as well. We'll be right back. My name is Drew Moholland. It is Afternoon Drive. All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. A happy Thursday afternoon to all of you out there. Jayden Medeiros is our guest today, and we'll get back to him in just a second. But why don't you sneak in there, buddy, for the cameras?
Hey.
We got a couple of youngsters here doing a class in the studio. Who are we, boys? Identify yourselves.
I'm Henry O.
Here, lean right into that microphone, will you? Henry O?
Will Conrad.
Yellow.
Henry Yellow.
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 A-I-E-L-L-O.
Thank you. All right, hey, Henry, how are you? And your name is?
Will Conrad.
All right, and what are you here? Will, lean in for the camera there. You guys can wave.
Where?
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Where's the camera?
It ends up being that one. There you go. See, you're getting used to this now. Jayden, they're good camera presence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you guys doing in there?
And
We're-
over there,
Yeah, what were you doing?
We're talking about
discussing ideas.
For what? Is it like
For-
a film class? Is that what
Yes, we're
happened?
doing
Yeah.
film production.
You guys are, Jayden, pull that in for them, will you? Just the microphone. Film production. So that's cool. You guys are into the film thing?
Yeah.
What do you like most about it? Go ahead, either one of you.
We haven't started like the camera stuff yet, but we're just brainstorming.
They've told you not to touch the cameras.
Well,
We've gotten a chance to play around. with
Yeah.
them, but we haven't.
Yeah.
We're just brainstorming.
Well, that's good. You guys like the radio thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a cool little studio, huh? That's good. Jayden's doing a really good job as our guest today. He went to Newburyport.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
He's a popular guy. So I'm going to, unless you guys have anything else to say, I'm going to have Jayden slide back in. But enjoy the class, guys.
All right. Bye.
Any questions? You all good?
I'm fine. Bye.
You're fine. All right. See you later.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Henry and Will? Henry and Will. Thank you, guys. Good appearance. Slide back in, Jayden. You guys mind just shutting the door on your way out? Thank you. See? There you go.
It's fun.
You never know. I heard it was fun on the way out.
Yeah.
So there we go. Making kids' days. I walked outside. You never know what's going on out here at the studio. They get a film class today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a cool opportunity.
I'm trying to learn myself. She's writing, the teacher here, who I don't even know her name at the moment. We should get that. But she's writing stuff on the whiteboard that I'm actually learning a little something as we go.
That's cool.
But and maybe some future. I don't know even know if those guys were from Newburyport. But
I saw the St. John's prep.
yeah, I know.
buddy.
Might be a brother sibling thing though.
Maybe.
Or,
I don't know.
Do you ever have any inclinations to do the private school thing?
Absolutely not. I'm 100% Newburyport.
You're a public school guy.
100% a Clipper, and I don't know. I feel like everyone should do the same.
Yeah, I do recommend that myself. I'm from Danvers, so I had kind of everybody from Danvers kind of at least takes the St. John's Prep test just to keep the options open.
Yeah.
So I did it. I ended up having the option to go, but I ended up just using the Danvers High, which I always said was the best decision. I have friends that I still am amazingly close with, and not that it wouldn't have happened at the prep, but it's a lot of money to go to private school.
Yeah, it is, and then you got to think about college too. And I don't know. It's just I never thought it was just go to Newburyport. That's kind of my mindset.
I've often thought, like, when I have kids, like, I'll probably offer it, but not really mean it.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just kidding. That's awful. That's an awful thing to say. No comment from you. That's good.
No comment.
You were gonna say something. Well, anyways, I'll get back on track here. Good to meet the little dudes there, and who are enjoying film class out there. So UNH, we talked a lot about the old Newburyport sports. We talked about what's going on at UNH. Any stories here that over the past, I don't know, however long it's been, that we don't know about with you? Again, Jayden Medeiros, former Newburyport Clipper. He's an alum now at UNH, freshman year. A lot of fun.
I don't know about any stories, but it's definitely.
I feel like you got all sorts of stories, but maybe not all that you can tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And you meet a lot of cool people in college. So
What's the you doing mostly like? I remember one year. You can kind of do more of this when you get to be an upperclassman in college, when you have a little bit more control of schedules. One year, I just like crammed all my classes in on a Tuesday and Thursday.
yeah, so
Which is wild.
you get to pick your own schedule for the most part. So
Even as a freshman, you had pretty good control of that? Wow.
I know last semester I only had one class on Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh,
So
the
that was
opposite of
cool.
me.
Yeah, this year or this semester, My Wednesday's pretty packed. I got like 3 classes, but Friday I got 1. Monday I only have 2. So it's cool. And college is cool because you get to pick kind of what courses you want to take. So I'm majoring in sports studies.
Yep.
So like last semester I had sports industry for a class. This semester I have principles of coaching for a class, which is actually a really cool class.
You are coming after Kyle's job.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he stays for as long as he needs to. He's having a lot of fun with it, but hopefully when the time's right, we can have a transition.
Well, no forcing him out now.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just kidding. It's funny because you were there. If I remember, you would have been there right during the transition, right? You had the Bob Clark into Kyle Hodgson.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Hodgson took over. I think it was beginning of my junior year, maybe.
Yeah,
might have been sophomore year, but yeah. So I met him for the first time at it was actually a girls' soccer game at Cherry Hill. Mr. Clark calls me over. He's like, meet the new guys, Mr. Hodgson. Hello, I'm Jayden, and I don't know. We kind of took off from there. We have a good relationship. We're close. And whenever I see him, we always talk for a while, and he's awesome.
I every time I mention Bob Clark, I work with a guy with the same name, obviously a common name. If I'm ever running behind, if you may remember, I work the early mornings at WBZ, so I work at like 2 in the morning. And if I'm ever running behind, I would just call Bob because he would be the next guy in. And long story short, I can't tell you, over the past 5 years, it's only happened a few times, but every time I've got to call Bob, I have called the wrong Bob Clark. and he'll call me later in the day. Was everything okay that you called me at 2 this morning? And I said, yeah. Sorry, wrong Bob Clark. Just running behind.
Yeah, that's funny.
He's a good guy, too, though. Hope Bob Clark is doing well. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we'll try to get him on the show here pretty soon. Again, joined by Jayden Medeiros here. We gave a picture of him on Twitter. We've had a little bit of Twitter participation for Jayden today. We got the Jason Donlin question in there, which is good. Brian Haddon is watching the show. Hello, Brian. And hello to everybody watching on the stream as well. Big thanks to David Kramer, our producer on the TV side today, who is doing a good job focusing with all the commotion of the teaching class out there. Let's see. Where should we go? I want to go Newburyport more.
Newburyport.
Let's go back to. You come back home.
Yep.
You just literally came back for us.
Yeah, I mean.
This is very kind of you, by the way.
So I was sitting in my bed, and
I love a story that starts like that.
Yeah, and
I was doing nothing in college.
Yeah, I was doing nothing. And my phone actually hasn't been working. I can't get texts or calls, and I look at my phone. It's like buzzing. I have a Facebook call from Stephen Mallon fan, and I'm like, what the heck? Like we talk, we text on Facebook or whatever. We keep in contact.
He's the old baseball coach.
Yeah. He was my teacher too. He's a golf coach. So.
Yep.
But I never got a call from him, so I answer. I'm like, hello. And
everything
like,
okay?
Yeah. I was like Mally, like, how you doing? He's like, sir. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, I have an athletic director who wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, what could this be? And Mr. Charleston's like, Jayden, sorry to bother you. Can you be in Newburyport for 3? And I was like, yeah, for what? He's like, a little radio interview. And I was like, I'd love to. So texted my mom. She came up and got me, and here we are.
Mom had to pick you up?
Yeah. I can't have a car on campus, but
yeah,
my mom doesn't
remember
mind,
that.
so.
I didn't even think of that. That was so sweet of her.
Yeah, she
What's mom's name? Give her a shout out.
Brenda Medeiros. I think she has a Twitter, actually.
Brenda Medeiros.
Brenda Medeiros. She might have a Twitter, so she's probably listening right now.
I should probably get her. We can find her here in a minute. Maybe give a wave to mom. There you go.
Hi, Mom.
Looks good. Got him here on time.
Yep.
Good for you. It was funny. I was telling you beforehand. I got my little booklet that has all the guests lined up.
Yep.
I'm looking ahead. I'm like, I'm in good shape here for a couple of weeks. I think we're pretty booked up. And then I looked and said, oh, geez, today is the one I don't have.
Yeah.
So I was happy you could kind of bail us out. That was great. Golf. I also wanted to talk golf. That is another thing you and I have in common. Baseball, actually, my favorite sport. I just was never. It was a decent player, but I was never like a great high school player. I dropped off after the little league days. I was telling you about. I dropped off. But the baseball is my favorite sport to watch. But maybe I would say my favorite sport to play these days is golf. And the snow is driving me crazy. I'm about ready for spring. I've had enough. Golf is such a unique sport. You played competitively in high school, and I always say, and this is like maybe you can, maybe you don't feel this way, but I think it's true. The most pressure thing in like any sport is like a 6-foot putt to win a match or to whatever.
Yeah. So
it's all you. It's all on you. There's no teammates to bail you out.
Yeah. So to say I played competitively is a bit of a stretch. I would call myself more of a locker room guy for golf.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so
that was kind of me too, actually.
Yeah, so
only the top 8 play in golf.
I played my sophomore year, and then I didn't come out junior year, and I had Malin fan. Actually, it was my teacher my junior year, and he was like, "You gotta come out. You gotta come out." Like,
was he coaching golf
too? He was the
too?
coach. Yeah. So I'm like Mally, like, why do you want me to come out? I'm not that good. He's like, just come out. You're gonna have a lot of fun. And so, I ended up doing it my senior year. I didn't play, but I got to play golf every day. I got to play 9.
Yeah, best practice ever, right? Free golf?
Free golf. And so I'd say I was more of a, glue guy, locker room guy, kind of keeping everybody loose, joking with everybody. I'd always say, I'd be like, Mally, I want Babcock. Babcock's obviously a stud. Mally, give me Babcock.
Yeah, he's real solid, isn't he?
I never got Babcock. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What's he shooting these days?
Babcock, he's a stud. I don't know. I'd love to get him in the summer though, and just see what can happen. Maybe pull off an upset, 16 seed beating the 1. But I don't know.
That's never happened in March.
Never happened. I'd love to be the first 16 to knock off the 1.
What's the? I take it more seriously now actually than I even did then. High school was laid back, and like I wasn't even in the top 8, like you said. I was kind of in your spot. Only 8 players play, so you get a few subs. But that's the benefit of it, is you get to practice and free golf, and you feel a little guilty when the soccer kids are running mile after mile for time, and you're out there working on your short game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hitting putts and not much conditioning, so it was a lot of fun though. And
it is a great game.
I'm glad I did it.
Do you play? Is that something that you see yourself doing in the later years here?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about golf is you can do that forever. You're never, too old for golf.
I know.
It's fun. So
my grandfather played till he was like in his mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
Until the day he died.
Exactly. And so I think it was cool because you learn some things too. I think Mally and the assistant coach, Coach Gerzak, they teach you a lot of things, kind of, gameship and how to be a gentleman on the course, and the right way to do things, so that when you're playing in the summer or the spring with your buddies, and a couple years down the road, you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing.
A gentleman. I like
gentleman.
That. Well said. And I'm kind of into even like watching golf now. I kind of just eat it all up. I'm very committed now. It's weird. I turned the corner a couple years ago where I'm like, you know what? I really love that game. I'm gonna take it seriously. I'm gonna ditch my old hand-me-down clubs, get some nice ones. Actually, my guys at my wedding. I'm married since the last time I saw you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And still married.
That's good.
My guys at my wedding got me a new set of clubs.
Awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
It's a good gift.
Nice new set. It is a good gift. Nice new set of irons. Dad got me a nice new driver this year. I'm ready to go. Very excited for the season. Done with the snow.
Yeah, I'm done with the snow too. I'm ready for the Sox and playoffs, Bruins and Celtics. So
summer nights. Think of that. That'll keep you warm this afternoon.
Yep.
Again, joined by Jayden Medeiros, a Newburyport Clipper graduate alum. Very good radio interview, one of my favorites. I'm remembering now after it's been a couple years since I talked to him, but Jayden Medeiros on the show here today on a rather cold day in Newburyport, and we do the show every Tuesdays and Thursday at 3:00. I'm looking at the Twitter handle here as it just started like really doing a lot of action. Here we go. I was waiting for this. I was wondering why my phone was blowing up. A tweet to us from the Port fan section.
Port fan section.
Who are you, Port fan section? I need to know. All right, but whatever. I appreciate you being interactive, but I would like to figure out who you are. Anyways, so that proves to me that it's not you.
It can't be me.
Unless it's multiple people.
You
You don't have to answer that. You're not going to tell me anything. Okay, so the tweet is to you. Jayden, we miss you. 3 exclamation points. My wife is calling. She doesn't know when I work. I'll ignore that for one moment. Let's see. You have to. It's one of those tweets where you have to open up. So let's load the page here.
Right.
I wonder what else it says. Could be interesting. Might not be interesting.
Should be fun.
That might be it. But they miss you. That's good. Good start, right?
Yeah. I love to hear it. You guys are doing awesome. I saw the Triton game. You guys had the America outgoing, and you had like the whole school there, which is nice to see. And
here's the rest. We appreciate everything you've done for the program, and just remember. Stay within.
Stay within. Yeah, that's kind of humor that me and all my buddies rip. Just kind of stay within yourself. Don't try and do too much. I think that's what
it's like baseball talk. Yeah, it feels like baseball talk.
Every coach ever has probably said that to me. But I'm loving that this fan section's doing well. All the themes and stuff. It's really cool, and I think it's just cool for the players too to kind of know they have all that support. It's a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun doing it, and they're going to need it heading into the playoffs. I know basketball. I think girls basketball too, hockey. So I'll be at the hockey game. No way I can miss. I know they're going to get a win. I know it. I'm
tournament
calling
game.
No way I can miss the first tournament win.
So if they keep winning, and say they make a little bit of a run here, which is very possible, the hockey team.
Yep.
Does this mean that so you're gonna have mom driving back and forth to grab you?
Yeah, mom's gonna have to keep picking me up. I have a lot of friends. It's cool, because I was friends with a lot of kids who are seniors right now in high school. Obviously, they were juniors, so being so close, I get to come back and watch them play sports. And, like Miles Malouf is one of my best friends. Seeing him playing football, he had a really good year, so I was able to watch a lot of games.
I was just gonna say he just checked in. He said hello to,
he
liked your.
He liked it. So
yeah.
He had a really good year. It was a lot of fun to come back and watch him play, and a lot of guys, Dylan Rogers playing hockey too. So it's really fun to see them play, and I get to see them a lot. So it's good.
The funny thing is, I'm close with a lot of the hockey guys, and mostly the coaching staff, obviously. But just from calling all the games all those years, they practice at 3:00, so I can't get any hockey guys on the show. It's gonna have to be like an off-season thing.
That's true, but those guys are great. They're having a really good year. So
it is exciting. I wonder, did you ever get did they ever pick your brain? These guys that are still seniors right now, and maybe visiting even. As far as college goes, because it is funny. I remember being a senior in high school and not having my mind made up, and I remember just calling guys that were older than me and being like, "Hey, I was thinking about your school. What do you like it? Can I visit? Are you transferring?"
Yeah, I definitely have. I've had a lot of visits. A lot of people come up and visit, and that's always good. See a familiar face, and I know. I don't know. You're familiar with Chase Pantelis? He's active on Twitter. He's kind of like the next.
Yes.
He's the next man up in the student section. He's a junior right now, so he's texted me a couple of times like, "Oh, what do you think about doing this for the game for the fan section?" So I always like those texts. Kind of keeps me connected.
That is good.
It's a lot of fun. I still keep in contact with a lot of people that I'm friends with at Newburyport, and I like having that.
That's it's funny that. It is cool that they pick your brain on that too. I kind of like that. It is one big. Once you're in, you can never really get out.
Yeah, I think once you're a Clipper, you're kind of a Clipper forever. It never really goes away, which it's awesome. I love it.
That is cool, and I do love the. It's a great looking outfit. It's very TV friendly. Let me say.
Yeah, I had to grab my all my Newburyport stuff and put it on. Clipper hockey after the.
Mom didn't have to bring it.
Nope, I had it up there and. I have my Newburyport baseball jacket, so ready to go.
Well, there you go. What was Mom's name again? One more time.
Brenda.
She deserves 2 shout-outs.
2.
Brenda, thank you very much for getting your excellent gentleman of a son here for this show here this afternoon. And it was a bit of a last-minute thing, so she had to hustle. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Brenda. I'll say thank you on the TV. Big thumbs up for Brenda today, making the show happen. And your son has been a great interview. I always say, Jayden Medeiros, that was this is like the quickest hour in radio.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Goes by
it's
fast.
It's in the books.
Fun.
How about that?
Yeah, goes by fast when you're talking about stuff you enjoy. You're having fun. So it's awesome.
Well, as long as you're willing to make the drive from UNH, Mom, Brenda, you can. We'll have you on anytime, man. It was great speaking with you again. Any parting thoughts? Final thoughts?
Parting thoughts.
I like advice too. If you got any advice for the young high schooler or middle schooler, you're a good guy to go to for advice.
So my advice is this: work hard. If you want to do something, put your mind to it. Stay within. Control the controllables.
You're working the camera.
Control the controllables. And parting words. Good luck. Good luck to my Clipper teams heading into the playoffs. I know you guys got a couple games left, so finish off strong, and you'll see me there. So good luck and get the wins.
Very good. Nicely done. All right, Jayden Medeiros there. Great guest. We'll have him back on. It's been too long since we had him on. I've decided that was a really fun interview today. Talking all things Newburyport and college life as well. It was a nice little conversation. Pretty good parallel. We had the college life talk, and we had some of the little guys that are in here for a teaching session learning about film. Henry and Will, I think, right?
Yep.
Henry and Will bounced on in here for a little bit, 2 youngsters, and got to see the ropes here a little bit on the radio side. So that was fun as well, having those guys in. Again, folks, this has been Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. You can follow the show at Joppa Afternoons. That's at Joppa, Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. We had a lot of Twitter action today. Loved the interactive stuff today. I think a lot of that had to do with our guest here, Jayden. But if we could keep that going, I would love it. I'm a big fan of the interactive and shoot us questions. It worked out well today, so we'll try to keep that going as we go. That's going to do it, folks. Have a great weekend. That's going to do it for the week, so we'll see you back here next Tuesday. My name is Drew Moholland. Again, a big thanks to Jayden. Big thanks to David Kramer on the TV side. We'll see you back here next week. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye now.